With the increasing tech talent shortage in Africa, CIOs are scrambling to ensure that employees brush up on skills and technologies that facilitate business agility and resilience. With cybersecurity knowledge topping the list, despite competing priorities, training and upskilling needs to be a deliberate exercise. And this follows the small teams that are often vulnerable to the delivery pressure created by the current needs of the business. This means that creating a balance of short-term project delivery and upskilling as outputs to current projects is essential. And leadership commitment is a key in achieving organizational momentum needed to create an ongoing culture of learning and growth. And joining us now to tell us more about this is ESET Southern Africa CEO, Carey Van Vlaanderen. Carey, a very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us and a warm welcome.
Thank you. Wonderful to be chatting to you again.
Absolutely. Now, why are employees' mistakes considered the biggest threat?
Yes, unfortunately, us humans are the ones that are creating a lot of the threats. We're seeing almost 88% of data breaches actually happening because of these employee mistakes. And that's unfortunate because you're having your IT leadership teams trying their best to create multi-layer security within their IT software. But of course, the humans are the ones that are creating the threat. And you look at things like simple things like recycling and reusing passwords across applications, even just a company laptop being stolen with some confidential information. And you even see that employees don't actually understand what is confidential information, what they shouldn't be keeping on their laptops. And the most common that we've spoken to you guys so many times before as well is the fact that people don't know what a phishing email is. And of course, they click on links within emails or text or anything like that. And that we see so much as well. You also do see the issue of negligence within the IT administrators. As you had mentioned as well, there's a lot of things to do. There's a lack of resources globally and of course, especially in South Africa. So we see a little bit of negligence on the side of the actual IT administrators because they're so busy. And not as common, but definitely what happens as well is some kind of malicious intent from internal employees actually trying to create a vulnerability either for themselves or some other cyber criminal to get into your network.
We certainly cannot overemphasize the importance of keeping our devices very safe. I mean, you just mentioned that, losing a laptop or your laptop being stolen could possibly and potentially lead to, data breaches in the country. Remember the other day, the president even lost his iPad and in a clip that went viral. And, some were even questioning that possibly some of the country's secrets were in that particular iPad. So what are some of the common human errors that can lead to data breaches in cybersecurity?
Exactly. Most of them we're actually seeing on the IT administrator side. So if you're a great administrator, you would have some kind of encryption on a machine that should it actually get stolen, nobody can access the information. Again, it's difficult for everybody to keep up with that, but that is definitely a way from a software side to make sure. But the other side of it, from a business perspective, from the administrators, and we see this a lot, and it's really difficult to actually detect, but it's important because there are a lot of direct attacks just due to negligence within a business system. So IT administrators should constantly use what we call security patches. Most vendors that provide any kind of application will regularly send security patches and updates for you to update your software. These are known threats that cyber criminals are using, and all they need to do as ad administrators is actually patch the network. But again, time and money and all of that really makes it difficult for the administrators to keep up. So security patching software really does help that. But of course, it's important as well that even just configurations of the networks, of the servers on the business side is important. There are known ways to make sure that your servers are secure. And often these IT administrators are not getting to that.
Right. And what are some of the key components of an effective human risk management program?
So we all know that any kind of human program is difficult to implement. Yeah. And a lot of it comes to, of course, cyber awareness and training. And it's really difficult because we know that companies are really busy with other problems and really business issues, especially in South Africa at the moment. But it's important to have these training and programs in place. And the best way is to have it on a regular basis with really good, effective, open communication channels so that you can get your information out to your teams really early and on a repetitive basis. And of course, with these policies and procedures that you can put in place, you have an instant response plan. This is just a plan that everybody knows. Should something happen, they know exactly what to do. But on a software side, in which we always recommend, and we even offer in SMB packages, because sometimes SMBs don't have an IT administrator at all, and it's somebody perhaps in finance trying to run the network. And we do what we call vulnerability assessments on a network.
Right.
It's literally just running a software, and this allows you to see what there are known vulnerabilities within your network, and then of course you can just patch them with any software that you need, from your applications from Microsoft all the way through to your server applications.
And how do CIOs balance the need for cybersecurity training with competing business priorities and limited resources?
Absolutely, we know it's difficult to keep up with everything. CIOs are trying to balance this short-term need for business gain and systems versus something like an employee awareness program that they see as a long-term issue. But absolutely, if they turn it around and create a balance where they can have some kind of short-term, immediate and regular training, a deliberate actual training program that allows you to, in the short term, train your employees to understand for long-term gain.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned in the beginning, this commitment from leadership really has to start there. They have to create this culture of security first by some kind of investment in the time that their employees are giving to awareness and training in cybersecurity, but of course some investment in terms of money as well.
Let's now discuss in granular detail, some of the recommended approaches for ensuring employees receive adequate cybersecurity training, of course, despite the tech talent shortages.
Yes, absolutely. I totally believe even in difficult times where you don't have time as an IT team to do it, there's many wonderful online courses you can do. Even ESET offers an online cybersecurity training course. It's a great way to start.
Okay.
But if you have the time, it's always important to try and get some kind of awareness program going. And what's included in this? This is teaching employees where they are in the chain of where the mistakes start. Again, something simple as what is a secure and great password to use? What does a phishing email look like? And what is sensitive information? Do you realize that the information of your client that you're holding, for example, an ID number or even an address, is actually sensitive information? And how do you handle this data without actually putting anybody at risk? And of course, then your employees know, how do they recognize something suspicious? They know what the incident response plan is, so they can give IT a shot if they pick up something suspicious. And that then allows your administrators to pick up the issues early, and then, of course, not to create huge havoc within the network, and, of course, a way less impact on the network as well.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the do's and don'ts before opening that, suspicious email and the links thereof. I mean, now we're in tech season, and so many of us have been receiving emails that I'm entitled to 9,000 Rand tax refund, so I should click on this particular link. So what are some of the do's and don'ts? Because some of the emails, Carey, they look very convincing, eh?
Absolutely. It's so enticing. Everybody wants 9,000 Rand, so I totally get it. And it's gone are the days when the emails used to look, pretty obvious. There was terrible grammar, bad imagery.
Right.
Exactly. With low pixels, it was so easy to pick up. But I promise you, these days they are really sophisticated and they're really difficult to pick up. The tip always is to say, wow, it's great. I think maybe SARS wants to give me some money. Let me go directly to the SARS website, find out their telephone number that I know is from their website. Let me just give them a call, or find out a legitimate email from their specific website. Clicking on any links is extremely enticing, and especially when we're busy, everybody has got a lot going on and trying to really just keep alive in terms of business. But just make sure that you don't click on links. It's really just the easiest way to not get yourself into trouble.
And especially those emails that starts with, hello, dear.
It's always something enticing. Hello, dear. Right. I want to chat to you. I want to give you some money or something free. And we all want that. So it's really, really difficult to say no. But I totally get it. Just the easiest is just to double check, phone that company or vendor straight back and double check. That's the easiest way. The old school communication of giving somebody a call is the best. All right,
Carey, lovely chatting to you, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Have a wonderful morning.
You too. Thank you. Well, that was the CEO of ESET Southern Africa, Carey Van Vlaanderen, speaking to us about why employees are the biggest cybersecurity threat and how training can actually make a difference.